Hello, you buggers. Right, so I've got a stack of guitars here. There's quite a lot, so it's going to take me quite a long time to get through all this. I'm going to number them and mark them up as we go, so we've got a reference for what we're talking about, so we're not just trying to describe, oh, the black one. I'm going to try and limit myself to 5 minutes for each one. So this is just like a general skim through. If you want to have a closer look at a particular one, we can do that. Or if you just, we can do another video just having a closer look. Or if you want to just sort of confirm some of the parts that may have been missed, that I may have just skipped through by accident, we can reference them, go back, have a look. Okay, so, and I've got my pen and masking tape for marking up, and I'm going to put this somewhere, and I bet you I'll lose these like 1,000 times while we're going through. Now, I'll go through the bags first. I don't know which is in which one, so we'll just start at the top, work the way through. Now, some of these guitars are absolute dogs, and some of them are quite nice. So what have we got first? A dog. A Rockwood by Horner. Oh, it's got a serial number on it, so you can check it out. Tuners, horrible. I do tend to like the maple neck. So if I see a guitar with a maple neck, I do kind of go for it. The frets aren't particularly nice. In fact, they're probably a little bit angled back a little bit too far, and they're obviously, sticking out, nasty, horrible plastic nut. 3 stock unknown pickups, and they've gone as far as giving it a lovely neck plate. There's the bridge, again probably now special. The body has a few dinks in it. It's got a horrible bit in just the finish alone. We got cracks. This is one of the things I was talking about on Scott's video about neck design and neck pockets and why they like that. You get on Strats, well, I suppose just about on anything with this kind of design, you get these horrible cracks in the finish at these corners, because this is all like a weak point. It's one of the reasons why the was it the Comet aeroplane had problems, because they had square windows, and so the windows and the stresses and the materials at the corners have always cracked, so they ended up replacing them with round windows. So we got a square corner, it's weak, it cracks. They should be rounded, but that's the neck design. That's the neck design we're dealing with. Thank you, Mr. Fender. Right. So yeah, we will call this one right 010. Why 010? Why not 1? I don't know. It seems to be a thing, that a hangover from programming in BASIC. You always started your programs at 010, and then you could always go back you do it in increments of 10, and then you can always go back and add new lines in between if you needed to. Right, 0, 1, 0. Right. Let's hope those don't fall off. But I should point out, I have turned dogs into decent guitars, and sometimes, you can use them for donor guitars, for like the Squick Splat Strat, the toilet seat guitar, because, like on that one though, the body's pretty nasty. God knows what wood it is. Can't tell without stripping it down. Let's have another close look. Now this is an interesting one that I bought because it's an Alesis. It's an Alesis X guitar. It has its own effects panel built in. Is it great? Yeah, no, not really. But the worst thing about it is I've had to replace one of the knobs, and they should click into position, and I could not find anywhere the right kind of knob that had clicking positions and the same number and the same because it's a potentiometer, so I couldn't get one with the same values. So I've got one in here that doesn't click, and so this side of things doesn't work too well, which is a shame because it's a nice toy, as it were. But anyway, I will include this one in for now. So we've got closed tuners, plastic nut, frets. Frets are reasonable. There's a few dents in the neck. It's a shame. Body. Let's see if I can. I don't think I'll be able to see the body through there now. I don't know what this body's made of, but I've got a feeling it's. Oh, I don't know what this is. I can't tell. I was thinking it could be plywood, because there's just some really odd patterns that you can just see underneath the finish. I'm not too sure. Very unusual. Right. What's the state of it? It's all right. It's got a few dents in it. And there's the bridge. There's the volume, and these are all to do with the selecting of the effects. But anyway, now you talk about designs for cars. I'm going to talk about designs on gig bags in a moment. Right. This one sounds shocking. Let me just check that with my ruler. I think this is 7/8 scale. Let me just check. Yeah, so that's a 7/8 size guitar. A lot of plastic still kicking around. I think the pickups have still got their plastic covering on them. So what we got tuner wise, relatively decent tuners. It's a G2 and it's, I have to say, the body, the body's nice. The body's in nice condition actually. It's really good. There's no blemishes on it. How many pieces is it? Three piece bit of wood, proper wood. There's the bridge. God knows what the pickups are. Plastic nut. I think we tried playing this one, and I think it sounds awful at the minute. I think it's got some 2 lighter gauge strings on here for the scale, but it's quite a cutie. Right, mark that one up. Next one. Right, gig bag design. Why the fuck do they? This was not so bad. It's just been zipped up wrong. But I've found some with single zips, right, that go all the way down to the bottom, and that's how they open up at the bottom. So the zip just works itself, and then you pick your guitar up and it just falls out the bottom of the bag. I thought this one was one of those gig bags, but it's not. Now then, what we have here, I bought this one because it's the same make as one my son has. Well, it's my son's guitar, and it's on my website, and it's demoed by Ben Wakeman. We call it Bluey. It was a slightly discoloured blue, and I repainted it to a satin finish. I matched the pickups on it, and repainted the headstock because someone had mullered the logo, and it took me ages to find out or figure out what make it was, because it's actually a really nice guitar. Star Maker. Now I've seen these brand new for like £100. It's got nice maple neck. You know, it's got close tuners. It sounds really good. It plays really well. And my son loves Bluey. Oh, got some nasty marks there. So we got plastic nut that's broken, and bridge that's got some well, we've got a broken string, so we'll have to replace the string. The body is in relatively decent shape. There are some marks on it. That's got a scratch. Yeah, it's got a scratch on it that might be polishable. And of course, there you got the old neck crack in the finish. Hooray! So, not great. Not great. Right, I'll mark that one up. Okay, we got an Indonesian Encore. Quite an interesting. I got this because we have some Don lace pickups. Everything is yellow to hell, and it's an Encore. So what's the state of the fret? Sharp, black plastic nut. We've got these deluxe Grover tuners, or sorry, Grover Deluxe tuners, whichever way you want to say it. A Wilkinson bridge, I think we're missing the trem on that, so it's a floating bridge and it's in a stupid position at the minute. And yeah, this wacky pit guard. It's quite heavy. It's quite heavy. But then again, I have just picked up the Star Maker, and the Star Makers are very light. Yeah, body is it's got nicks and dinks, and bumps in it. It's got some nasty blackness here. It looks like someone's gone on with a Sharpie or something, but I think it's something blackened in the wood grain. You can see it on there. I'm going to talk about ideas for finish later, but I want to mention this now because sometimes I find a guitar that's got quite a nasty few bumps and things on the finish along the front and the back, but along the sides they're all right. They're not bad. And I started sanding a body down once, and I was taking the top off, and then I took the back off. I'd already started going into the side, but what I thought once I got so far, I thought actually it might actually be quite nice just to take the finish off the front, or finish off the front and back, so you're exposing the wood, and then just refinish the wood surface, and then you leave the sides. I haven't done one like that yet. I was close, but I always thought that might be quite an interesting finish. I'm just mentioning that now because I'm holding one up where it could possibly work. Now then, three-piece. It's a three-piece piece of wood, because I can see little blemishes in the finish, little dents where the pieces have been put together. But apart from that, you can actually just see by looking at the wood. But yeah, got a few dents in the back, and it's got a serial number. Encore Vintage Standard. Yeah, I believe these are Indonesian. Well, not just Indonesian, they are made in India. I think, might be wrong. Yeah, here we go. Here's the gig bag kind of gig bags I was talking about. One zip, it's at the bottom, at the start. So this can work loose, and your guitar falls out the back. It should start at the top and go down, surely. I don't know. But it's a horrible cheap gig bag. It's just looking after the guitar. Right. This is another Encore, and it's been inspected by somebody. Well, in my inspection, I'd say ugh, because it looks like a string tree has been ripped out the whole thing. Yeah, so horrible tuners. I mean that could be fixed. That could be fixed. Just might mean we would probably actually want to paint the top of the headstock as opposed to wood finish. Yeah, so horrible tuners. Fat, flattened frets. Now these are frets are a goldy colour. We've got one string on it, so even C-Stick Steve wouldn't play this. Yeah, as I was saying, the frets have got a goldy colour. Now I would imagine that's down to tarnishing, rather than it being like Evo Gold or something like that. But they're nice and fat. They're nice and wide. They're kind of flattened, so. But the rest of it is a rusty old bugger. All the screws are all rusted. The bridge has got signs of rust on it. It's a pretty nasty looking bridge. It's a pretty nasty looking body. Not sure what the wood is. If it's wood, if it's plywood. It's got a wrinkly kind of surface, so it's not the the prettiest of finishes on here. So I would assume probably underneath this rather cheap nasty guitar is a plywood body. Yeah, this is all rusted. It's horrible. I think this has been in the bottom of a lake. So, anyway, there we go. What are we up to? 050. This is 060. Actually, let's just come back to this one in a second. The fingerboard is quite nasty. It's got some nasty blemishes along there, and a little bit dented. I don't know if that could be ironed back into shape, steamed, maybe. That's all part of the challenge, isn't it? So just see, when I was buying these guitars before doing up, it was a case of not picking and choosing decent guitars with perfect parts, because I wanted that variety of mess, crap, of things that are wrong. There's no point trying to hone your skills by limiting yourself to all the good stuff. Otherwise, what the hell are you ever going to learn? I think you learn a hell of a lot more by taking crap and trying to make it decent, and working with decent and trying to make it a little bit more decent. And another gig bag with a zipper bag. What we got here? Ooh. Very similar. Very similar, but different. Now then, we are on an encore again. Nasty tuners. Interesting truss rod cover. But well, this is interesting because this fingerboard, it looks like ebony. Is it ebony? Have to find out. It's got a dent in the neck, a little nick. Yeah, so I mean, these tuners say crap to me. The rest of this says there's a kind of a decent build guitar in there somewhere. It's not the prettiest kind of maple on the neck, you know, the grain. Got some patterns on it, so it's not like a super quality neck. The frets are sharp. So yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to say that this is just painted black, but it also, the grain looks really smooth as well. It could be ebony. It's got a dent in it, so maybe we could steam that up. Steaming it up will probably find out, because if it's a painted finish, the finish will probably come off. Nothing special bridge. Now the pickups and the knobs have almost tarnished to a mint green colour. Now I've got a mint green. I've got a mint green pick guard. Be interesting to see if they match up. But there's this tone knob. I don't know. It looks like someone hammered it, and the stalk's broken off in the inside. It's poking up. Got a horrible scar here. So yeah, the finish is buggered along. Yeah, it's got lots of dents in it. Lots of dents. In that idea I was talking about earlier about, you know, taking off the front and the back. There's always the idea that you leave the finish on the front and the back, and you take the side off and reveal the wood under there. Reveal that beautiful plywood finish. Now there's a crack. Yeah, this is strap button. Has definitely got a crack running through it. It's not centered. It's not in the middle. But yeah, there's definitely a crack running through there. So that's an interesting repair. Or are we talking about chucking the body away and just keeping the neck? And I swore I could see. I swore I could see a little dimple running down the middle of the body, almost like it was like two pieces of MDF glued together, or plywood. We won't know till we take it apart. Nice little round string trees though, quite cute. Yeah, pulling those strings down a hell of a lot. Not too sure if there should be some spacers in there. It just seems a bit too much. Now, I would like somebody to do a decent video on the art of string trees, because, so I was saying to something in one of Will's videos, is they always just seem to be fairly random in their positions, their heights, And when you see so many like Fender style guitars, and they all seem to be different, it doesn't make a great deal of sense, because the neck's pretty much the same design, so they should be fairly similar. But yeah, it's. I mean, where do you know until you put the string tree on and how it's reacting? How do you figure out where you want to put it, on which strings you want to put it, and how high you want to be pulling down the strings? How much tension do you want on it? For me at the minute, it all just seems a bit of a random affair. And I must admit, it's something I've been curious about pretty much right from the start. Looking at guitars, and it all seems just very vague. Maybe I'll miss something that's bloody obvious somewhere. Right, so we got this one that sorry, I'm just, for a moment I thought the plastic cover was still on the pick guard. Oh, it's not. It is plastic cover still on the back. Right, a Westfield. We still have plastic on the tuners, which are closed tuners. A plastic nut. Big fat ass strap buttons with the old washer lock. Plays beautifully. 3 stock pickups. Oops, 1 broken headstock. It's quite a nice neck. It's quite a nice neck. Sharp frets. Minimal wear. Now then, you won't be able to see this. I've shown this guitar on another video. I'm sure I have, because this was one I was offering to a friend. But it's got, and you won't be able to see it, but it's got like a pressed material pattern in the finish. It's probably nitro. Could be nitro. I mean, it could be polyurethane, possibly. But it's, and this one has got some, yeah, it's got some goofy. It looks like, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but it looks like chip out on the actual cutting of the wood, but then the finish has gone over the top and smoothed it out. Yeah, it's like here as well. It looks like it's filled with finish, almost like the you know, they've cut the body and then shoved it into a mould where the finish is applied. Crack in the finish. Nothing particularly special bridge, but it doesn't look too bad. But that's not the point, is it? Because we're butchering these. Yeah, okay, move on. Yeah, I know. It's just. Oh! Now then. This is a find. This is a find. I don't know if I want to show you this one, because it's good to go now. It's this is a Squire Strat. It's an affinity model. The body is nearly perfect. It's nearly perfect. It's just got blemishes in it, you know, like you get just because it's been sitting in a geek bag rather than a factory packing box. Everything looks good on it. It's got an unfinished maple neck. Frets are a bit sharp. Plastic nut. Looks like a nice nut though. You know, strings are just sitting there resting on it. The frets again have got a slight gold tint to it. I'm sure that's not because they're decent frets. Not an Offender, a Squire Affinity, no? But you know, this is brand new. Brand new. Nothing wrong with it. It's even got a nice strap. Huge rubber washers on the strap. So what can I say? Yeah, it's a brand new guitar. Gorgeous. Beautiful colour. Beautiful colour. What would we do to that? I've also got a brand new Squire telly upstairs. It's the only telly I've got. It's brand new. It was used in a commercial, and they sold it out. I got it. Buy it now. Bought it, and it turned up brand new. One of the pickups didn't work. The bridge pickup. So got it half price again. Brand new guitar. Something like 50 quid. And we've got that upstairs in our den. Like I say, it's the only telly I've got. It's brand new. I'll just keep that one. Right, next. Yeah, this is one of those gig bags that has just got the opening at the bottom. Just at the bottom. So unless you're storing the bloody thing upside down, it's just gonna, if that zip moves, it's gonna fall out. Right. So here we have, I've already got a number on there, I'm going to take that off. Here we have, it's, you pull it out and you go, oh god, that's a dog. But it's not. This is a Squire Strat. Now somebody tell me what's going on with these frets, because again these look tarnished but they've got a slight gold tint. Strings, I can see the rust. Plastic nut. Plastic nut. We have Squire stamped tuners. A black body with bump there on the top. What's the? If there's any cracks here. No. See, Squire seem to manage to get these right. I don't think I've seen a Squire with cracks in the finish. Right, massive bonk there. And no rear plate. Yeah, is what it is. Made in China. There's a serial number. You wanted to follow its pedigree. Bridges in an okay state. Not to say though, it's all fitted together nicely. Everything's all straight and true, but unusual fretboard, fingerboard, because it's the colouring it's got quite a dark grain this side, quite light grain that side. Wee nick in the wood there on the fingerboard. Yeah, there we go. Squire strap. Right. So what we have here is a Tanglewood Nevada. Another quality guitar. What can we say about that? It's got sealed tuners, I think. I can't tell. I thought they might have some kind of protective covering still on them, but it's just, I think it's just a metal finish. Or it's on so well that it's just not coming off. Oh, look at the way, beautifully strung up. Ah! Now then. I didn't notice it straight away. This is the left-handed one. Right. So we've got to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, everything else about it is rather unconventional. The body is in a fairly sad state. It's got lots of dinks and scratches, and big dinks and scratches. At least you can see the wood underneath there, and it is wood. There's not enough on it of it to see a grain pattern. The neck plate scratched a buggery just there. Why there, I don't know. Yes, so this is a left-handed one. That's the back of the neck. Now, I had some thoughts about left-handed guitars. Now, I'm going to show you this. I was talking about this in message to you, I think it was, about my hands. Now, my hands aren't very pretty. You know, they've got things don't move in the right place. You know, I've got problem there and problem there. But this hand, if you watch, I'm trying to. See, the fingers just like snap. They don't. Whereas these can do that. These snap. So if I'm trying to fret, it's kind of like locking, and I don't know if it's early signs of arthritis or just crappy hands. This hand is fine. So I know I've been trying to learn to play guitar, and you know, this is just not working for me. But this side works. So I'm wondering whether I should try to learn to play a left-handed guitar. I have heard though that right-handed people find it difficult to play left-handed. Some kind of mental thing. But that's okay, because I've got one of those. And I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? So now I've found this one, I'm going to put it to one side and I'll have a fiddle. It needs new strings. It needs new strings, definitely. But yeah, I just want to fiddle and see how I get on. See if my brain can even figure out the finger positions. Going from one side to the other, see if I can do the mirror image. But anyway, that's that. The other thing I was thinking is, well, you know, Hendrix famously played right-handed guitars, left-handed, and I couldn't help thinking that it would be quite fun to make a Hendrix copy guitar, or some kind of Hendrix guitar, maybe just set it on fire so it's like constantly burning, but then turn a left-handed guitar into a right-handed guitar. Now I don't think this is the first time it's ever been done, but then your right-handed player will be able to play the guitar, stand in the mirror and pretend to be Hendrix. Now there are obvious issues that Hendrix dealt with, was the knobs are in the wrong place. Well, you know, if you're going to be like Hendrix, they should be in the wrong place. And this is in the wrong place, and it should be. But having said that, we could possibly drill in here all the way through. It's a long way to go, but we could put a drill through here, so you have an optional output jack down here, so you can just plug it in here and Hendrix away. I thought that was a cute idea, so let me know what you think about that. So yeah, that nut looks absolutely horrendous at the top, and I'm sure I can even wobble it. You know, that looks horrid. But apart from that, rather unconventional. It's interesting. It's a Tanglewood, Nevada. It's right-handed cousin. Yeah, so there you go. We've got twins. Body is covered in crap. It's got that rippling in the finish. But I think it's definitely wood because the rippling moves about. It's not particularly well shaped. It's got a few issues with it. Press are kind of okay. Probably a little bit sharp. Probably just needs a little bit of dressing. We have N-Twistle X65 pickups in there, whatever that means. And there's the bridge. It's been inspected by SC Hong, so it's obviously USA made. Closed tuners, and a yellowing pickguard. Nice white rear cover. I think this has been like hung up on somebody's wall for years and years and years, and the sun has just got to the front, and it hasn't seen the light of day at the back here. Yeah. So there we go. So as you can see, quite a few Strats, or Stratty guitars. I'm going to quickly show you this, although this isn't actually in with the bag. It's Squire Mini. I've got a friend who I'm going to do this up for. We've got a little kid, and one of the things we're talking about, or I'm talking to him about, it was actually like setting in Lego plates into the guitar, so he can be practicing playing his guitar and have his little Lego minifigures. So you can have Darth Vader helping him out. And then, of course, replace these horrid tuners. Just go with the stock pickups. I'll probably replace this bridge. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but it just doesn't look particularly nice. Yeah. So anyway, that's and obviously I don't know what strings someone's put on here, but they should be 13s, and they're not. So that was not part of the deal, but I thought I'd show it. Right, so we have another one here. I'll just take my old numbering system off. It's covered in dust. And it's got its plates missing. Ooh, look at that. Bolt on. It's an Ashton. It's got closed tuners, still got the cover on them. Frets are a little tiny bit sharp, but not bad. As you can see, I've already gone at it with a Sharpie, just experimenting thoughts about just resculpting it, recarving it. That will clean up. But yeah, so we're into a slightly different area of the Strat model. But yeah, it's essentially a Strat. Now the body's kind of okay. Now we can see the wood grain in there. End on, so it's not plywood. It's got some Chinese writing in there. As a surprise. It's got a built-in tuner, which is nice. Yeah. Kind of running out of things to say, really. But then, I'm not trying to sell these to anybody. I'm just showing them. Oh, we're missing jack plate. A friend of mine needed a couple of those jack plates really quickly, and I said, look, I've got a couple of guitars. So I just whipped them off and sent them to him. Right. Now we have a dusty Tanglewood Rock 3. It's a Rock 3, so we're going to turn it up to 3. Inspected by SC Hong. SC Hong again. It's been inspected by the same person as the other guitar. I'm going to have to dig those out and have a look at those. This is quite interesting. Right, so we still have pretty much all the covers on the plates, the protective covers. It's got a neck I think you'd be quite impressed with there, Scott. It's smoothed off. It's got a nice little curve in it. 24 fret. Yeah, 24 fret. All the strings are sitting fairly deep into the nut. They'll actually drop right in there. We have a floating trem. Now, like a lot of these, we're missing the trem bar. A lot of these point out. So we have 3 N-Twistle Dark Star. Very wobbly knobs. There's no. So yes, sorry the card ran out. empty some space off. I think we just about did everything on that one. Yeah, we do have the angled headstock, but interesting nonetheless. Now, because of the interruption, I might have missed something on that one, but let's see. Right, so next we have an Aria Pro 2 with its Aria Pro 2 pickups. They look like some kind of EMG, but they're not. It's just got plastic covers. They proper old-fashioned mechanical switch, and a pull knob, probably for that. It's, can't disguise it, it's a plywood body. A angled headstock again, with a bound fretboard, which is quite an unusual bound fretboard because the frets don't go to the end of the binding. It actually looks like they've been dressed with the fingerboard and then the binding's been put on, so it's unusual. 22 fret. Closed tuners. It's got a serial number, as if anyone cares. Okay, so this is a big problem. This has it was a AXL, I think it was, or an AX2 bridge with a very, very skinny trem block, and the trem block is cracked where the whammy barrel screws into, and so it needs replacing. A quick scoot around on the internet, I can't find any replacement bits for them. So you think, okay, well, we'll just put another different bridge using these bridge pins. These are, I can't remember offhand what the spacing are for these, and I haven't found, or I haven't seen, I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know all the guitar parts around the world, but I haven't found anything that will fit that. Maybe there's something, maybe there isn't. Maybe this is a throwaway body. It has an accurate bolt-on system, which, that's what it says here, it says accurate bolt-on system. We'll find out what that is when I take it apart. I mean, the body has got nicks in it, it's plywood. We know there's nothing wrong with plywood, it's just, you know, there's not really a lot you can do with plywood once it's been made. I mean, it makes a pretty fine body, but you know, for changing and customizing, doing something with, you can't really be very creative with it. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, that kind of like makes it a bit of an issue. So that is all the, what I would say, complete donor guitars. 1, 5, so we have 15 there. That'll keep us busy for a while. Now we do have some that have already been stripped down, and as I knacker them all, now we have this one, which is an Encore coaster again. hang on. It's an angled neck. There's no scarf joint. I can see some wood composite going on there. I think I don't know. There's a join there. Yeah, it's very hard to tell. I think there's some kind of veneer that's gone on the back. Yeah, that is quite a that's quite a composite job going on in there. So there's no scarf joint. Interestingly, there is a slight knot. It's not a real knot, but there's a slight knot there, and it seems that's probably not a very good place to have one. But anyway, we have a remnant of serial number. Closed tuners. It's got a lock nut in there. This did have. I stripped this down a long time ago. And I can't remember what it's got on there, but it does have some I would say Floyd Rose, but it's not a Floyd Rose bridge, but it's some kind of locking bridge on there. Well, what I originally intended to do with this one would be to give it a kind of a Eddie Van Halen style, because it just, I don't know, it's just the neck kind of looks like the one he had on one of his ones, and it's black, and then when you do the red and white stripy thing on it, and it's kind of got the right holes for pickups. Put the old screw eyes in for the strap buttons, but that was an idea for that one. Interestingly, this has got the a nice little feature of a little spot on the back there to keep your tools. Ironically, the tools are missing, but an interesting feature. I'm not too sure. I mean, that's more for messing around with this. So you're not searching for the tools in your gig bag if you need to sort that out. Interesting idea. Right, so I'm gonna mark this up 2 numbering systems, because now we're getting into parts. I will go the next number up, but this will be given an N prefix, so it'll be N160, and this will be B160. Okay, so, and as with anything else, it can be, it'll be the neck from guitar 70 and body from guitar 120, and those are the 2 pieces. So we can chop and change depending on obviously neck pockets and scale lengths and number of frets. Now then we do literally start getting into parts. Now I will quickly show this, because this is a guitar that Ben Wakeman just gave me. It's a very, very, very old guitar, in a real horrible state. Now this is all, the finish is all cracked on this. I did toy with the idea that it might be quite interesting to preserve that cracking and just refinish it, but it has a lot of issues. This is an MDF body, and it's done the old MDF thing of just kind of like starting to wafer, crack and fall to pieces. There's obvious cracks here and cracks there. It's so, yeah, I could have injected stuff in there to stabilise it. I think maybe this is just going to go on the bonfire. So I won't mark that one up. Now this is the neck that came off it. Unfortunately I've got a bit of a water stain on the back here. This is all just painted black, you can kind of see, but it's underneath all that there is a mahogany neck, and it's got some grain filling, obviously for the decent paint job. I've just been toying with it, just taking it all back to the wood. It will need quite a bit more taking back there. And as I remove the paint off the top of the fretboard, it's kind of like revealing this kind of thing, which I quite like. I like that kind of mix of paint and grain. So I was toying with the idea of just ripping all the frets off and clean that up, and just kind of like leaving a little bit of the black in there in amongst the wood. I mean, that's mahogany. I'm not too sure what this is on the top here. Interestingly, we've got plastic binding. I mean, it was painted black, but we've got plastic binding along there. So once you take the mahogany off, get to the mahogany, and get to this one here, and then just refinish it, that might be quite a looker. Might be quite pretty. I don't know. But you know, it was a hell of a mess to start with. It's not in a good condition. But somewhere underneath there might be something quite nice. I'm going to go through the rest of these bits relatively quickly. Right, this is a bit of a mess. It probably once upon a time was a very, very nice neck. It's got a single action truss rod with a completely gnarled truss rod adjuster, so that needs to come out and maybe just replace with another one if I can find one. I do have a single action truss rod. Possibly I'll take that off and see if the actual nut fits. Music House Hack, something Strasse 33, German. It's lost quite a lot of the finish off the varnish off the maple. The nut's broken. Someone's painted something on here. It's a mess. Is it salvageable? Possibly. Yeah, once upon a time I bet this was a beautiful neck. Right, rather unremarkable neck here. Very, very quickly go through this. Again, we have that kind of goings-ons. It's had a bit of a paint finish on it. The story behind this one is this was the neck that I did some sculpting for the Alien guitar, which has since disappeared off the face of the earth. I have no idea where it's gone. It hasn't resurfaced. It's been nicked. Well, and this was the one that had the broken truss rod, so I've taken the fingerboard off just to see, because I'd never done that before, so I've taken that off just to see how well that could be done. So you know, I'll write on it. I'll give it a number. But I don't think that's going to be going anywhere soon. And the story is this one. Because the truss rod works in this one. This was just going to replace it. Nothing particularly remarkable about it. It's already had some paint on there. That doesn't matter. That can be repainted. Okay, we have another unremarkable neck. This is what remains of the guitar body I sent Mike G that he used in the Tonewood Gets the Chopped video. Make my neck. Sorry. Unremarkable maple neck. A knackered knut. Horrible tuners. Straight in the bin for those. 22 fret. And a flipping awful fret job. I can't figure this out if these frets were cut before they were fitted, but not a single one of them. I mean, they've all been chamfered off, but not a single one of them meets the edge of the fingerboard. So they haven't been, they haven't been fitted and then chamfered off. It's like they're chamfered before they're put on, or it's just been used with a tool that just stays away from the fingerboard and takes that edge down. Anyway, there you go, and that's that. The body. This is one that came with that neck from earlier. It doesn't really matter, but we have a wooden body that just needs to be taken right back and cleaned up. It's obviously had some kind of paint job before, some jersey metallic orange, but yeah, it needs something like this. Screw is completely gnarled in there, so that needs to be drilled out, removed, which kind of makes it not so hot for a wood finish, but that could be cleaned up. Yeah, so a similar body here. It's just covered in cling film just to protect it. Just another wooden body. How many pieces is it? 1, 2 pieces? It looks like it should be 3, but yeah, no, it's 3. I think it's 3 pieces. Who cares? A swimming pool route. Everything else is fairly unremarkable on it. Just needs a damn good clean up. Can't remember what this was. Looks like basswood. But I don't know. Kind of looks like basswood down here, but then it's 2, maybe 3 pieces, and it's got sunburst on it. Body has a lump of nail varnish on it, and it's got a few dinks in the back, and a lovely sticker, and some rather unremarkable pieces going on there. Okay, that's body 210. And obviously, you know, the strings are already there, so just need to put a neck on it. I don't know why I've left these on here. I don't know. Right. This really is pure junk. It's firewood. It really is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just God knows what it is. It's some pieces of wood that's been glued together, and you can see the join there, or maybe that's not a join. No. It is one piece of wood. I tell a lie. One piece of wood. God knows what. And it hasn't exactly had the nicest finish on it. I mean, and I've messed around with it. I just did some paint grunge effects, just trying it out, because I knew this was never really going to go anywhere special. I think this is what remains of the guitar that went into the Squit Splat Strat, because it was a really stupidly cheap throwaway guitar. I think I got it for like £10 or something. And yeah, so that's just what remains of that. I will mark it up. Body 220. And body 230. E. Now you'll remember this. This is what remains of the Tonewood experimental guitar. Bumped, knackered, buggery. You can see where I was scratching away at the finish. Did we ever decide what wood it was? I'm sure we did. I can't remember what we said it was. I think we just said it was older. It's got the lovely car badge on there, because that's what every guitar should have. That was a joke. But anyway, there we go. That's marked up. Body 230. Just for shits and giggles. No, the last one is another donation from Ben Wakeman. This was featured in a video a long time ago. Still haven't done anything with it. It's the remnants of a Les Paul. Now, I never found out from Ben whether it was an actual Gibson or not. But yeah, so we are talking knackered, lovely old mahogany neck. Now, could replace the neck, or the other thing is, you know, we could route out a neck pocket in there for Fender neck, or one of the necks I've got kicking around, and turn it into some kind of bastard guitar. Never decided what. So yeah, typical mahogany, flamed maple, and rather knackered finish. So this would probably only ever work as a painted body, because it would need quite a lot of work to clean it up. We could reshape it, resculpt it. We could, we could put a tubby tuck in there. I don't know. We could do maybe something with it. I will mark it up as body 240. Right, so there we go. That's all the bits and bobs. Those bits and bobs. Very, very briefly, I want to go through some stock pieces. I'm going to move the camera down here a bit, so hopefully be able to see. I've got no feedback as to whether or not you can see. So we have our usual bunch of gubbins. Just a load of bits and bobs. Some neck plates. A lot of these have come off. Some of these guitars have already been stripped down. We do have some. I do have a set of elliptical pins. I mean, this is not saying this is the stuff we've got to use, or I'm just kind of like going through some bits of stock that I've got. You know, we do have various trem bars, different kinds. You know, push-in, some slightly various diameters of thread, because they do tend to be a wee bit different, especially from the cheaper end. And I do have some. Open this up. Not that you need to. God, it's cold out here. My fingers are not working too well. Right, do have 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit Fender genuine parts for roller string trees. Ironically, I got these from Australia, and the same Fender parts seem to be cheaper being shipped to Australia and then back here again. Don't ask me why, but when I bought these, that was the best value I got. Right, so we also have 3 sets of Fender LSR roller nuts. I haven't fitted any of these yet. Been waiting for the right project, because you know it could be quite tricky, but it's sort of like you want to practice on a crappy neck, on a crappy guitar, but at the same time, once you fitted it, you kind of like want it on a nice one. So it's a kind of a catch-22 situation. So yeah, just various screws and things like that. Nothing remarkable. We do have in this box. What we got? Oh, that's the remember the Alesis guitar. That's the switches I was having trouble with. Still got them. Kill switch or kill button. Just been sitting there. You've just got various colours of trem ends and usual bits and bobs. Yeah, a whole load of jack plates. You know, these are just like, you know, the odd bits and pieces. I'll go to the lovely old traditional switch. Nice. Knobs, crappy knobs. I've got some. I'm not too sure what the value is on these. I can see it written on anything. But anyway, got some pushy pulls. And can't get it in now. So yeah, not that we need to use any of that. just stock. It's just some stock. Oh, nice copper claw. And we do have springs. Yeah, so if we just say, oh, yeah, we'll just put a couple of extra things on that, or do this and that, the other. You know, we do have some room for manoeuvre on that. Okay, so that's that. The last word would be about possible finishes. Now, on my website, there are some examples of different kind of finishes that I have done, obviously. There are some finishes that I've kind of like showed off in my other videos that I've been working on. Just a gunge effect one. It looks quite astonishing. What did somebody called it? Somebody came up with a name for it. It was a really quite cool name. On a kind of a cross between that and the metallic was this, which was, yes, I still haven't finished it, but yeah, there was this one, which is kind of like a cross between grunge and metallic. I think I've already said that, but there you go. You get repeats. Other finishes that I've been thinking about, I can't get the tin out, but call me crazy, was, what do they call it? Plasti dip, like a rubber coating, like a hard rotting. Yeah, rubber on a guitar. That scared a lot of people. Interesting idea. Other ideas were denim, epoxied down, other materials. You could start going bonkers. Other ideas were newspaper. What do they call it? They do it on furniture, where you take like comics and things and just stick it down to the furniture and then varnish it. There was that idea. I was even contemplating the idea of making an entire guitar body from newspaper, just layering it up and then pressing it. I've got to work on that one. I want to try that. I'm even contemplating the idea of building an entire guitar from newspaper. That'd be a one-piece guitar, moulded. I'm still working on the technicalities of that, but that could be quite interesting. And things like cardboard as well. I'm working on some ideas that were about making guitars for people who want to make guitars but maybe don't have the skills. Sometimes they might not have a router, so they'll want to make working out ways they can make a custom body guitar using materials, but if you don't have a router, you can do it this way, layering up. What else? What else? We talk about finishes. Yeah. No idea. But sky's the limit, and we just want to keep pushing things to be interesting and exciting and playable. So that's my stock, and everything else we'll just take it from there. You know what? I'm just talking a lot of bollocks now. So that's just gone through the stock and some of my ideas.
obviously I've still got some kitchen countertop material. We could make a Telecaster body. We could build a body out of something new. I don't care. Anyway, that's irrelevant. I'm doing it again. Final way to end this. Right, so that's just going through stuff that's here. That is not the end of it. There's not the, there's plenty of other stuff out there, but that's just some of the stuff I've got kicking around. Not everything. I've got other stuff as well. So I've got loads of loaded pick guards and bits and pieces that have been stripped off other guitars. I've got a selection of pickups. Whether they're any good or not, I don't know. So yeah, that's all that this video needs to be, is just showing stuff.